the House bill goes beyond Roe v. Wade. No, it doesn't. What it does, it is Roe v. Wade as reaffirmed by Casey.
So folks, the IRS Commissioner Chuck Reddick has a very important announcement for everybody. Monthly checks will be deposited to help financially millions of low and middle income households as inflation continues to soar to new records. So checks worth up to $500 will begin to go out to hundreds of thousands of eligible Americans this very month. And we have some good news, everybody. Several congressional leaders have released proposals to provide relief for increasing gas prices, and now they are finally taking action and signing these bills into law. The governor of Georgia has already signed into law a bill that will send payments very soon to people in Georgia out of a state budget surplus of more than $2 billion. Of this surplus, $1.6 billion is being sent back directly to the pockets of Georgia residents who paid state income taxes for at least the last 2 years. The payments will come in three varying amounts depending on how your income and household files taxes. Now, single tax filers or married taxpayers filing separately will receive a $250 check. Head of household filers will receive $375, and then married joint filers will receive a payment worth $500. At the time the law was signed, the state said only that it would be sending out the payments in the coming weeks, and the Georgia Department of Revenue has finally announced an official timeline for when you can expect to get your check. State officials have said that eligible Americans should start arriving their checks in 4 to 6 more weeks, and that would roughly mean people should start seeing the payments from about May 4th to May 18th, and which is really great news. Now, the 2022 tax season is swiftly coming to an end, but the commissioner of the IRS warned this week that many taxpayers could see delays in their refunds, as the agency confronts a worker shortage and severe backlog of unprocessed returns. While testifying before the Senate Finance Committee, Chuck Reddick acknowledged that continuing fallout from the crisis and the many tax changes, including the federal relief measures, is likely to delay tax refunds for some filers this year. Chuck Reddick said the IRS is serving more people and entities in a global environment than ever before, while handling new and bigger responsibilities. At the time, we have experienced delays in updating our IT systems, which means the IRS and taxpayers must continue to use certain paper-based processes. And although the IRS is planning a hiring spree this tax season to process 20 million returns, the agency has so far onboarded just 2,000 of the 10,000 new workers that it intended to hire. There are roughly 2.7 million paper returns from 2021 and 2.3 million returns from 2022 that have not yet been processed. By comparison, the IRS usually enters the tax filing season with fewer than 1 million remaining items to address. Still, Chuck Reddick noted the IRS has cleared about 90% of the error resolution backlog. As of April 1st, the tax collecting agency has processed more than 89 million returns and issued more than 63 million refunds, worth a collective $204 billion. The average payment so far is worth $3,352, much larger than last year's average of around $2,800, though it may change by the April 18th deadline. There are fresh challenges facing the IRS this year as well. Taxpayers will have to reflect the monthly child tax credit payments and the stimulus checks that they received in 2021 on their returns, further complicating matters and increasing the likelihood of errors and delays in processing returns. Reddick has also previously noted that the agency is really understaffed before the hiring spree. It had 20,000 fewer staff than it did in 2010, and its budget is roughly $11.4 billion, 20% less than it was in 2010.
It's just the way it is. So we have to just take our country back for America's working families. The middle class is the backbone of our democracy, and it has a union label on it. It has a union label on it. So we have to give workers, we have to empower workers and working families, whether they're union or not, but nonetheless, that they are the source of strength, the backbone of our democracy. So I appreciate your question, David, but that's what happened. It went money all the way. As Barbara said, Peter Bear was a champion on environment. We were used to bipartisanship on the environment and others. I just laid to rest in the Capitol George Miller's good friend Don Young. We disagreed on a lot of subjects, but we had a good rapport.
A big increase has been approved for monthly benefits, but not everyone is going to receive this. Here is an update on SNAP benefits. According to USDA, emergency allotments were authorized under the Family First Crisis Response Act to help address temporary food and the needs during a crisis for SNAP households. Emergency allotments amounts are equal to the maximum benefit for the household size. minus their monthly base benefit. So state SNAP agencies can issue emergency allotments to a month-to-month basis to all SNAP households that normally receive less than the maximum benefit. But households that are at or near the maximum SNAP benefit receive little or no additional support. As long as there's a national health emergency in place, the public has a state-level emergency declaration in place. States can choose to provide monthly emergency allotments. The USDA has granted waivers to New Hampshire, New Jersey, North Carolina, Oregon, Rhode Island, and Wisconsin. 10. When adjusted for inflation. In addition, according to the Congressional Budget Office, more than 20% of the IRS customer service workforce has been unable to work for crisis-related health reasons over the last 2 years. Now, if taxpayers file an electronic return with no issues and opt to receive the refund via direct deposit, the IRS anticipates the money will arrive within 21 days. Now, you can start tracking the status of your tax refund within 24 hours of filing using the IRS Where's My Refund tool.
Has absolutely exploded since Washington Democrats took power. And to be clear, the worst inflation in 40 years is not something that just spontaneously happened to Democrats on their watch. As a Pew report demonstrated late last year, it's true countries around the world are facing inflation. They are, as a result of COVID. But America has it worse than almost everybody else in the developed world. This is a direct result of liberal policy choices. Here's how Jason Furman, President Obama's CEA chairman, explained it recently. So I'll quote from the New York Times. The United States has had much more inflation than almost any other advanced economy in the world, said Jason Furman, an economist at Harvard and former Obama administration economic advisor, who used comparable methodologies to look across areas and concluded that U.S. price increases have been consistently faster. The difference, he said, comes because the United States stimulus is in a category of its own.
Thank you, Mr. President. I could have no more have done that when I was 12 years old than fly. I used to be a stutterer. I was scared to death. I would stand up and talk like that. And I can't tell you how proud I am of you. And your brother is equally as impressive as you are. He's standing there, he's sitting there 2 seats over. Shannon and Joshua, by the way, happy birthday, man. He's gonna be 13 years old, teenager, a couple days.